try this again. Good morning and happy Monday, everybody. A couple quick housekeeping items, and then we shall get started. So, I know everyone has been anxiously waiting, as have we, for our Compass One system. And so here is where we are. I'm going to make a video and I'll show you guys exactly kind of where we are in the process. And this is the bit of a challenge that we've hit. We realized that we need to make 6 different timelines. So how many people here are in an escrow state? Raise your hand. Okay. How many people are here in an attorney state where they write where they still have to produce a contract? How many people are here in an attorney state that no, Serena, you're in New York. So you're in an attorney state where you don't have to write the contract and you do a deal sheet, right? So there's 6 different checklists that we have to make. Each one of them has a description, has a task like pre-qualifying, a description that has bullet points of what you need to do, and then the additional details and a resource. So each one of these checklists is anywhere from 115 to 165 steps. So then we have to take that and then we have to integrate all of your stuff into Marketing Center, give you access to all of these assets, and make sure that all of the links and everything work for 6 different checklists, which approximately comes out to 800 different plus 800 different Excel tabs. And then we've been working with the Compass team who've been trying to figure out how to integrate them into your account, which does not exactly work. For Marketing Center, you cannot publish a folder. I've been declined even if I asked Robert to make my own Marketing Center region. So that is the challenge that we have, right? So what we don't want to do is rush and give you something that does not work. Broken links, non-Marketing Center things. So we literally have to go through testing and test all of these different tabs, every single different link, and it's taking much longer than we thought. Because even when we tried publishing the beta one into some of our own accounts, it did not work correctly, right? So I'm going to give a date by the end of the week, but we're going to push the date back and we're going to give you a firm date. We're going to give you a training date. We're going to lock it all in and we'll have it finalized by that date, but it'll work 100% correctly. The good news is, like, that's the bad news. The good news is our Marketing Center assets will be done this week, right? So we have figured out from the marketing product team at Compass how we can publish them all into your account. The only challenge that we have currently today is everyone needs to make a copy of the documents. If you do not make a copy, you will alter the existing timeline, the existing template, because there is no way in the world to publish templates unless you're a corporate Compass currently in their system where a template gets produced and a copy is put into your account that's not the original. I can just share you on the design I made. So we'll have like an onboarding session that we'll put in a recap email next week for adding Marketing Center assets to your account. But we have a listing presentation, we have a buyer consultation, we have new versions of just listed and just sold flyers, right? There are these really cool postcards that say either new to market. Within the captions, they actually have the description of what you should put in there. So it's not like Lorium, Ipsum, Diem, Carpum, and like, what do I do here? Our just sold has been changed because I think the word just sold, like, I don't really care if someone just sold the house in my neighborhood. You know what I do care about? If I have a new neighbor coming. So our just sold have been changed to these really sleek black and white postcards that say new neighbor coming. So we've reinvented property flyers. They're all different. The brochures are different. We've put in what you could actually stick into ChatGPT to kind of at least get started. And we'll add the super prompts into those sections that you can put in there. And right now, what we're working on is how do we use Compass AI in Marketing Center? Because there is a version of that in there. So right now we're working on like creating what I would say like Shroud prompts for all of those things. So I can't tell you how grateful I am for your patience and that only a couple people email us every week about this and not hundreds of you. So I promise you that when this thing comes out, it will be very robust. It'll be very clear. And I cannot tell you exactly what my surprise and delight is, but the day that this comes out, I'm going to add something in there, which will be, I can honestly say, will be the greatest thing that has ever been invented. And I actually already have the beta version of it and we have people testing it. So There is a lot that's going to be coming, and you're literally, your minds are going to say, holy shit, no way. Like that's how good it is. I feel that, being honest with all of you, this is a culmination of my life's work, and that this is exceeded even beyond my wildest dreams of the impact that this can have for all of you. Could you imagine having real time support, like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, knowing exactly what to say, exactly what to send, exactly what to do next, your own set of marketing assets that are different than everyone else. You'll have every script, every email template, every chat GBT super prompt. And by the way, chat GBT just came out with chat GBT 5, which is insanely better, right? So there's so many different things that we're going to be able to do in this next really coming month, in like 2 months going into the fourth quarter. Like I've never been more excited for all of you in my entire life, right? And so I can show you this just quickly, just so you guys have an idea what this all actually looks like. This is what will be programmed into your Compass One. And if you look at it, look how long this entire thing goes. 117 different steps. Look, super prompt. Send this thank you video, right? So add in the action steps. So all of these different things we literally had to make from scratch. And this goes over 6 different transaction types. So when I'm telling you this is something like Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory on steroids, we have 5 people working on this like 24/7. It's been insane. Like it just, I never thought anything, like I think you guys know I work through things pretty efficiently. Like I have a hard time like actually even going through a deck for 30 minutes. We've been working on this. This is the 8th month that we've been working on this. Months. So I cannot again stress out how thankful I am for all of your patience, but I promise you it will be worth it. All right, so let's get into the luxury client experience today. And to me, this is the difference in where your business is today and where you need it to go. So I'm just giving 1 second to open up my deck. If anyone has any questions, just drop them in the chat and I'll make sure to get to them at the end. Oh, and the last housekeeping item, we want to have a crazy holiday party. So we're going to invite all of you in the next couple weeks in advance for the first week of December. So it's plenty of time to come here. If enough of you are coming, we could do something the day before of just kind of like an informal roundtable mastermind. I'd love to share as much time with you here as possible. So let's talk about the luxury client experience, right? And so, in terms of that, it really comes down to no detail left to chance. If you look at the greatest experiences in the world, and I always like to look at the Four Seasons as an example. And how many people went to the Four Seasons at the Compass Retreat like a few years ago? Anybody? I have to go to screen number 2. All right. Well, not many, but I can tell you this. I remember sitting in the lobby and I was like, all right, I use the Four Seasons all the time. I've had this experience. So I sat there and I watched them check in like 50 plus people. And then my sole goal was to find the person that I thought had the least experience, wait online for that person, and then ask them every different question I humanly could to hijack the experience, like to divert it from what they wanted to do. And what I noticed was they went back to the same exact things over and over and over again, right? It's the only way to create a repeatable, predictable, scalable experience through other people. But how well do we know all of our details, right? We talk about this being a Swiss Army knife, and so we have to learn one piece at a time. So we're going to talk about this concept of curated luxury, and there's an entire list of things we're going to go through today. So, what's curated luxury? This is my view on business, especially in real estate and especially post NAR settlement. It's organically anticipating your client's needs and having them happen before they ask. You know that you love a place when it says, Mr. Shah, we noticed you came back here. You like working out. Let us show you the gym. Oh, you love that steak dinner. Would you like us to make a reservation in that restaurant? How many, like, they know stuff about you, right? So when you go to a hotel and they type your name in their computer and they say, hold on, Mr. Parikh, they're looking at all of your notes and the activities they've logged in. You can do the same thing in your Compass CRM. Like, we don't need to make this more complicated. And then you can start figuring things out. If you've noticed the way that we've used ChatGPT, as we're capturing people's conversations, their details, what they're saying, in projects, you're learning so much about clients. You can anticipate gifts, needs, desires, dreams, wishes, wants. This is easier than it's ever been before. So we're going to talk about curated luxury, organization, attention to detail, and follow through. These are the four things that you need to do to create a repeat and referral business, right? So how many how many people are actually doing this today? Katrina, I see one hand of absolute positivity here. So, look, this is where you want to get to. You can command higher commissions, people won't ask you for discounts, and people will just refer you more business. So, this is my favorite phrase, and I learned this a long time ago from a mentor of mine. How it starts is how it goes. The initial experience they have with you sets the tone for everything else. That's why communication standards, expectations, follow through. The game that you play with your clients is this: I promised you this. If you don't have it before you have to ask, you lose, right? So if you go back to the example, I promised you guys a timeline. I don't have the timeline. I need to talk to you, communicate with you what's going on, good, bad, indifference. If not, I lose my own game, right? It's the same thing with your clients. We go on pitches and we offer a lot of stuff, but we have the technology, we have the resources, but it's not organized in a way that makes it easy for us to follow through before they have to ask. Just remember this: Friday night at 9:30, your clients don't want to call you. They don't want to call you. They don't want to call you at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock when people are going out to dinner and doing other things. But it's that fear, doubt, uncertainty, and anxiety that have people call because they don't know what's going on, right? That's the beauty of Compass One. So think about how this starts. It's the Med C. Based on the Med C, everything is created. From the project to your pitch to your communication, you could literally from the Med C ask. It's enough data. And they looked at ChatGPT 5 and they said like ChatGPT 4.0 was like a college student. Like the original ones was talking to like a high school student. ChatGPT 5 is a PhD level employee in every job field in the world. So I've been testing this out on my own, and the output of results and the clarity in it just gets better and better and better. And remind me, how many people outside of our ecosystem are using a MedC in the ChatGPT projects? Zero. So I don't care who you're pitching against, you should win because based on psychological drivers in people's minds, you're going to be able to create that perpendicular line. Your marketing calendar, right? This is your written marketing plan. It has your three-phase launch strategy. And the phrase that you use is, this is the exact plan I'll use to maximize the equity in your home. People want agents that have a plan, right? You don't need to upgrade to 5.0. It's free. If you're the $20 version, it's free. You just get more tokens and more usage out of it. And there's also for critical tasks, and I'll show you guys this in the accountability portion. There's also a think mode, which allows more complex thinking, right? It is pretty incredible. So creating clarity around marketing, I think, is really important because this is where a lot of misaligned expectations come from, right? How many times have you heard things like, well, I wish the picture was like this home I saw somewhere else? Or can you do this? Or out of nowhere, my favorite one is, can you run a $5,000 ad in a newspaper or magazine? Like that's going to sell. That's like that's how anyone is finding a home today. There's a reason that magazines and newspapers are getting thinner and thinner and thinner. It's because it doesn't work, right? So that all aligns to the experience of pricing and positioning their home. Your pitch book. Do you know that beautiful black book that Compass pays for in all of your offices? How many people use the black book today? Everyone's hand should go up, right? But here's the thing, the black book is really made for an overview of what you offer. It provides specific details and it's a leave behind. So going forward, what you want to do is if I'm facing you like this, I'm going to turn the pitch book around so the part that says Compass on the front faces you. I'm going to put it down and I'm never going to say anything about it. One person unmute themselves and tell me how they introduced that black book. Okay, I know all of you use it. Don't all rush at once, please. Very overwhelming. Tara.
I say this is for later on when you have more questions. This gives you more detail in what I do and has great examples. But once I leave, this is something for you to peruse just so you feel secure in what our partnership would look like. That's what I do.
Great. So here is what I'm suggesting you do. Curiosity, intrigue makes people want things more, correct? I'm going to leave it there and I'm going to do one of two things. One, they're going to ask me what it is, right? I want them to ask me what it is, right? Or the other one is they're not going to ask anything and then I'm going to bring it up. I'll go through both scenarios with you. So the script you use is this. They ask you, what is this, right? I'm going to say, today we're going to go through a lot of information. And I know you don't want me in your house for 5 hours. And it's a big decision. So we've created this book as an overview of exactly how we partner with you, as well as the specific details. So when you leave, if you have questions, you can look through the book. I'll share my personal cell with you. Don't tell them this is my phone number. Say, I will share my personal cell with you and feel free to reach out to me and we could set up a time to go through any questions and details you'd like, right? That's if they ask. If they don't ask, you're going to say the same thing. At the end, you're going to say, hey, I know we went through a lot of information today and that there are definitely things that you're going to want to think about, things that you feel you might want more details on. So this book is the exact overview of what we do. It provides all the specific details. So take the time you need to go through it. And my personal cell is blank, 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 blank. And when you have, and if you have additional questions, let's set up a time and I'm happy to walk you through the details. That adds value to the book, not another chore for them to do. Make sense? Oops. So these are all the things that go through an effective pitch book, right? And all of you, I encourage you should make your own, like about Compass, don't have 1,000 pages, about you, Compass One, client experiences. You could put a marketing plan, you could put a marketing calendar, you could put a CMA in there, you could put marketing examples, the equity protection plan, and what your seller timeline is. Like these are all different components, right? Some of you use all of this, some of you use none of it. You pick the journey you choose, which is best for you. I love the equity protection plan because it sets yourself apart from your competitions. It shows you how to protect the seller's equity. And by the way, we have a page built in our listing presentation for this. So it's process driven. Do you know how many of our clients over the years have created the information from it to a nice bound book and left it in the listing for buyers, right? And the way that they delineate doing this between good, like a good scenario and a bad scenario, an overpriced listing, do you think that's a good idea to print a bunch of these things and spend $1,000+ ? No. A good idea is in a high traffic price point that's priced to sell that's going to get a lot of buyers in. Why? Those buyers are probably going to be in a multiple offer situation. Some may or may not have a property to sell. And what we find is it's a way to get listings. or referrals. Because people who, do you know how many people buy homes with agents that don't tell them they have the house to sell because they want to see how they work? Do you know how many of our clients have gotten listings from buyer's agents? It's like, yeah, I really like my agent. Shrug's great, but I really would like it if you represented me. I'd love this type of detail in my home. It also makes it clear, right? Like, this is my client, this is their home, this is how you're buying it. Like, it creates a level of clarity for all parties. It's not done any other way. Calendars, organizational alignment, it integrates into the client's life. Every step of the process, right? We have a calendar template that you can edit your own dates and things into, and that shows another level of detail, right? Some people choose it to do it for all listings, other people choose it to do it for their higher price listings, right? But again, this is something you can use and eventually hire a VA to do for you. Feedback organized in one place, right? We have a feedback log, which is a Google sheet, which you can put in which you can fill out for every showing. And the other part is I recommend agents, and this is an extra step, but the time that it takes saves you more time. Every time they do a showing, I'd send a calendar invite, right? I'd send it for the times I'd want them out of the house. And in it, I would put a link to all of the feedback. So at any point when they want to look at the feedback, they don't contact you. You could say, Nancy, Alexis, at any point, you can just go back to the calendar where the showing is, click the feedback, and all the showing will be there because it's important that you look at the information with all of the context, not just in isolation. Your communication plan. No people in general have written communication plans. So somebody hires Stuart, and I have no idea when I'm going to talk to him, when he works, what are the updates, what's covered. So they just call you all the time, right? That's not a great experience. So it creates clarity, it structures communication, it organizes your life. And so when we talk about communication, right? How many people want to know how to get their clients to stop calling them all the time for every little detail? Raise your hand. Should be all of you, right? So here is the important part. So there's four main drivers of any financial decision you make. And here's the script that you use with people. I would say, Nancy, do you want updates on the number of showings that you have? Yes. Do you want updates on the showing feedback? Yes. Do you want updates on the results of our marketing? Yes. Do you want updates on any changes in the market that could affect your home, positive or negative? Yes. So, would you agree that those really are the four main drivers of any financial decision you make regarding your home? All right, give me another one. Yeah, you're the client today.
I want to know how many calls you've been receiving and if you can give me an idea of how many placements in per se Zillow and some of the
That
outlying.
goes into our results of our marketing, which is our insights report that gives all that information.
Okay, great. And then you can also show me how many saves I'm getting
Yep.
and shares.
Yep.
Okay, that's all good to know. And you're going to give me the feedback as to the price and what people are saying, if I'm priced too high or if I should be lower. How do I rank in the market and what else is out there?
So everything that you
Um,
said falls under results of marketing.
Okay,
The showing feedback and everything is a combination of feedback and how your home is positioned on the market. So the changes that could affect your home, positive or negative, right? So I would say, Nancy, each week we're going to set up a time and we're going to go through each one of these things. And one of the things that we found is if we share one piece of information without the other three, it becomes very challenging because your brain starts to think about your overall outcome on one data point, not four. Does that make sense?
yes,
So, regardless of what you want, you can understand and we can agree to today that any conversation we have relating to your home will go through all four pieces of data so that we could discuss them together. We could see because they all affect each other so you can make the best decision for you and your family.
great. That sounds like a good plan.
Okay, perfect. Do you guys all see what I just did there? I just told her stop calling me for random pieces of information. She's impulsive, unorganized, and why it's in her benefit. I have no problem giving you. What about if I want feedback? Nancy, I have no problem giving you feedback, but it's not good for you. You want to know why? You're going to start thinking about your home, why it's not selling, what could be going on based off just that feedback. And these are people's point of view, right? We need to look at how many showings there are, what buyers and agents are saying when they do provide feedback, the results of our marketing, as well as what's going on actively in the market and how your home is positioned.
Okay, are you going to follow up with the buyers after they've come through the open house or the agents after they've seen it to see what their
Yeah, I would
thoughts
have gone through all of this with you already.
are? Okay, good.
So,
Okay.
but now here's the important part that we need to answer for people like Nancy. Nancy, has anyone ever taken the time to share with you how feedback exactly works?
No, no, actually not.
Got it. So you purchased this home. When you were out touring properties with your agent at the end of the day or after each showing, what was most important to you with the time you had with your agent?
Um, I wanted to make sure that they understand whether I was looking at a property and the things that I liked about the property and disliked, whether it be location, bedroom, bath, style, and so forth. If I was touring, I want to know if they've grasped that so that they can show me better homes in the future. And if I'm coming in and they're the seller, I want to know that they've heard what my concerns are and they've acknowledged them and that they're going to make sure that certain things are handled, whether it be music on during open houses or doors locked and closed, things of that nature, that they're paying attention.
Got it. Yeah, Nancy is analytical. So is there anything else when you were buying a home specifically that you'd want to discuss with your agent during your time together?
I'd want to know how is the market, and I wouldn't want to know if they thought this was a good time to buy, and if they, with things being so different right now, with the mortgage rates still a little bit high, with everything going on, market slowing down, should I wait a minute? Should I, see what happens? I think we're all in that mindset right now. We're not sure, but I really like to find that house, and I really do want to buy, but I'm just wondering if this is the right time.
Now watch what I do next. So Nancy, during that time period where you're focused on you, your goals, your market, making a financial decision, the things that you and your family want, how important was it for you to share constructive information to help other people sell their homes?
How important was it to share other
The
people?
answer is nothing. No, you don't care. Every person comes to the same conclusion. You want to know why? Because you literally just spent the entire time talking about yourself as a buyer. And you're going to say, exactly, Nancy. And I shared this because most buyers are like this, right? So the expectation that everyone has feedback, most buyers are like you, they're focused on themselves, right? Some
Mhm.
agents do not even feel comfortable calling their clients, taking the agent's time and more importantly, their client's time to provide feedback to other people's to support other people's goals. So after the next day, we call, we email, we text, right? We have great relationships with agents. Sometimes we get feedback. A lot of times we may not get feedback. And no feedback is feedback and an offer is feedback. So I just want to align our expectations that most buyers are just like you and they're thinking about themselves, but we do try three different ways. There's the end of where's the feedback? The ring doorbell goes off and they start calling you. It's like, Jesus, like, come on, right? So, weekly meetings, you email all of the information in advance. You have the call framework. You go through each step by step, and that mitigates 90% of your client experience issues, like 90, because your clients know that they're going to hear from you and that they have time to review the information, prepare any questions, and you're good to go. Moving made simple, right? Like this is another part of the luxury client experience because here's the thing. Moving sucks. Do you think people that sell homes are expert new movers? No. Do they plan their move over however many weeks they have for escrow or contract to close? Or do they generally pile it in the last few weeks and everyone's stressed out and it's unorganized chaos? It's the latter of the two, minus the analytical people like Nancy who probably have her move planned on like a spreadsheet, right? So we provide this as a service, and this to me is the most important part. If you could obsess on working on one part of the transaction now, besides the med C in the beginning, it would be this. And the reason I say this is the like how it starts is how it goes, right? And how it ends is what they remember, right? So I'd write that down. How it ends is what they remember. So if you went into escrow or contract and you did not do diddly squat and you did not reach out to people, you did not talk to them, and like it was just crazy, that's what they're going to remember. They're going to think as soon as he or she got her check and they knew the deal was happening, Chirag he didn't follow up with me. Obviously, there's Compass One, right? Like it organizes all of this into one place that makes it easier, and there's two-way transparency. And having a built out Compass One that has all the stuff in just as a mock account is something I suggest all of you do. Now, you want to take inventory right now of where you are in the transaction, right? And that's what we're going to start doing in this accountability section. Experience mapping. Experience mapping is like when I'm in my office and I have that big glass wall that I spent all that money building just so I can put my post-it notes on. That's really what that's for. So depending on how you write down information is how your brain's going to process it. You do it in a Google Doc, it's one way. You do it on the notes section of your phone, it's another way. Even if you do it on a whiteboard, your brain still processes it as a whole. Now, the reason I like those big yellow post-it notes is you can create things like before, during, after. Use as many sheets as you want and literally write out what you're doing. Then walk away for 30 minutes. If you have anyone that's within an hour of your office that's in this community, I highly encourage you guys both block off a day and do this together. It will be one of the most meaningful exercises you do. So if you think about your before, during, and after, it's like a TV show, right? And you want your TV show to be like an episode of 24, not Curb Your Enthusiasm, or Law and Order, where there's no theme, you have no idea what the hell's going on, same thing. But in 24, like it ended at like 1 p.m. and the next session or the next episode was 1:01 p.m. Like doot, 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 the clock kept going. So when you experience map this out and you look at what you're doing as a whole, you're just like, oh my God. Like, wait a second, I did this over here. Now I'm doing this over here. It's the same thing with your marketing. It's a way of things to make sense. So you build and master one area at a time, and over time, you become great at all the areas. Look, we all need more patience in what we do. It is something that is so important. It is something that takes time, but it's something that will pay you dividends forever, right? So here's what we want to do. 0 to 1, let's look at what part of the transaction do we really need to dial in our client experience. And when I say dial in, it is that we have every single step down. So if you go from 0 to 1, it would be doing the Med C, recording the plod note, and knowing how to set up the pitch. From 1 to 2, it would be customizing your marketing center pitch to the client, right? And then so on and so forth for the transaction. So everyone take a couple minutes. I'll give you guys 4 minutes to go through and rank in order which areas of the transaction you need to work at in the beginning. And then we'll start sharing them around the group. And this is a great way for people to find accountability partners. And again, if you're within an hour of each other, I highly encourage you to actually meet up and do this in person.
Into a breakout room, Chirag?
No, we're not going into breakout rooms. Actually, you know what? That might not be a bad idea, actually. So there are, hold on, 60. If we put 3 people in each room, and we give everyone 15 minutes. Divide that by 3, 2, okay. I'm going to put everyone in a breakout room for 15 minutes. And in the 15 minutes, discuss with your group where you need to improve. My suggestion is take this group and set up a few follow-up meetings and keep working on this together. So, all right. Good idea, Nomita. So 20, hold on. Now that we're going into the room, people are disappearing, so I have to redo my math. 20 rooms. All right, a couple rooms will have 4 people. Here we go. Let me make sure everyone is in a room. All right, I'm gonna shift everyone to rooms and I'll look at the rooms that are light and we'll move some people around. And I'll be popping in room to room to say hello and be a fly on the wall and listen. So if you have 2 people, that's fine. Cindy, this is Laraka, Debbie, just click the button to go into your rooms. Hold on, Cindy. I'm just seeing where you are. Well, you know what? You two can just do it here. And Susan, you guys don't have to move. Just unmute yourselves.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Yeah. Cindy, is that good?
Yep, that works.
All
Thanks.
right, you two start. I'm just going to listen.
All
Okay.
right. Go ahead, I guess, for improvement, right, Chirag? Is that what you're saying, where we need to improve on
Where
our
you need to improve.
listing? Well, so I'm new to this whole program, so I feel like it's like a massive improvement on everything. So just kind of, I'm trying to understand all of everything that you're presenting. So I'm probably not the best one to start with.
Actually, no,
Okay.
there is no good and bad to start with, right? It's like, look, like part of this is learning how to think, right? So immediately our brain's going to say, well, I'm new. I don't know what to do. No, you do know what to do, right? How long you been doing real estate?
18 years. So I mean,
Exactly.
I've done it my way, but I kind of love this new improved way.
So here's what I'm saying. Based on the new and improved way, what's one area of your client experience that you really think that you can focus on dialing in and perfecting?
Well, I love your approach on the communication. I think that's great. I don't really I feel like I do connect with them, after every weekend on everything for the week. I touch base during the week as well. But I do love your listing presentation booklet idea. I really want to change mine, shift that up. There's a few steps in there that you put down. The pitch book, I didn't get to write it all down. I just wanted to listen through. But and then the follow-up at the end, I didn't catch where you go with the follow-up at the end, but there's a few in there that I really want to delve into. And
So number one, just her focus, right? I'm going to be your coach now, is focusing on structured communication.
okay. All right, I can do that. And can you just go back and explain, you said at open houses, you leave your pitch book for buyers?
No, not at open houses. Like,
Oh, okay.
are you guys talking about the showing book? You only use those at actual showings where agents take it and it's like has all the information on the house.
Okay.
Mhm.
Showing book. I don't
Your
know
name
what.
one more time because it says Theodora, but I know you're not.
Oh, Theodora.
You are Theodora. Okay.
Yes, I'm Theodora. So I can share.
Oh, Lenny. Lenny's your husband. Okay. Yep.
Yes, yes, but he's in a different, we are in a close proximity, just in the different rooms. I can
love
share how
that.
we implement it and what
Yeah.
I can work on to be better. So we are pretty structured in how we operate. So we do have an initial conversation with a client, then we have a pre-qualification before we meet at the listing presentation. Now we started implementing the MEDC. As a matter of fact, Lenny actually went through, Chirag, your roadmap last year.
Oh, yes, I know. You guys have been here a while. I appreciate that.
So we implement MEDC and it's amazing. It's not all of the questionnaire because MEDC is kind of like a second step pretty much. First you have initial conversation, then you have a MEDC after, post the initial conversation. But what I actually did once, and I find it extremely informative, is record the MEDC on a plot and then imported. I did it in ChatGPT. I did exactly what you said, Chirag. We had a meeting with a client, and I use the listing presentation. So one thing that I want to improve of what we do is to pretty much change the listing presentation based on the clients and based on their needs and based on what they are. So for example, the listing presentation that we had was a trust sale. So there wasn't so much of a emotion involved, but there is a timing that they are considering. And as a matter of fact, ChatGPT gave me as a blind spot of the listing presentation, the timing that they are going to want to know of the timing. And as we had the discussion with the client, it turns out that, the heir, the aunt is still alive. She wants the property sold. She's pretty much towards the end of her life. They're in a hurry. So we don't have like a lot of fluff to go through. So we have to actually make the sale happen yesterday, pretty much. So, and then communication. We communicate with our clients every Monday. We have, for every listing, we have a conversation on Monday, give them the feedback. And it's based on, all clients are different. Some clients are a little bit more anxious. They want to know after every showing. We have to call them and tell them how the showing went. Well, we know. And on a lot of the properties, we are present at the showing, unfortunately. So, and it's a positive and a negative because it takes time, but positive is that we gauge the people and we have the feedback. We're there. So we know what they say. I mean, they might lie, but at least we get some sort of feedback so we can give that. And what we really have to improve more so is the steps that we take post-closing, because from the time we communicate to the time we close, we are very, very diligent. But post-closing, we can kind of like take a little slack after that. So that's the area that where we have to really work on more.
Okay. So here's what you guys need to do.
Okay.
One, well, Greg will have him share as well. But what you want to do is identify this into process, right? And then I would encourage you to like just hop on Zoom for an hour and she works on her stuff, you work on your stuff and use it as like a two-way sounding board, right? And this way you just sometimes like I do this with my team members, believe it or not. I will literally like Christine's on here. And when we do our newsletter and all this other stuff for accountability, I'll literally tell her like, we're going to do a Zoom session. You're going to hold me accountable. I'm going to do the work. You're going to ask questions or we're going to do it together. Right. People show up better for other people than they do themselves. And we all are busy. Right. So it's important to create this structure. And like, I find peer-based learning the best because everyone wants referrals from other people. So what I find is you'll show up and have like the super mega best version of yourself because you're like, I don't want them to think I like work badly, right? So, Greg, did you just hop in or were you on the whole session?
Oh, Chirag, you're speaking to me?
Yep.
No, I was having a problem and I just jumped in. So I was in
Oh,
another
okay,
group.
so we'll give you an
Dropped
update
off.
on what we're doing. We're talking about our client experience, right? Like before, during, and after, and identifying one area that we really want to make like luxury, right? Where all the details are mapped out, our processes are perfected, so they're repeatable, and that based on what we do, we create a predictable outcome, right? Like real estate is not a business of uncertainty and chaos. Like, no way. We create this uncertainty and chaos by saying anytime, anywhere, anything you need, call me. and there's no plan, there's no purpose. The way that most agents run their business, and this is an acceptable practice because it's an industry we've never taught anything different, you would never hire any service that operates in this haphazard, chaotic way. No way, right? So if you had to pick one area of your business that you wanted to dial in, what would it be and why?
I think speaking for myself, it would be the process of actually the transaction itself from start to finish. My
But pick
background,
one part of the transaction. The whole transaction is a ton of different steps.
okay. I would say just from contract to closing, right there. That's where I run into a lot of bumps. And the reason is I honestly don't have a process that I follow through. I react, and that is my problem. That's my inherent problem. And to be very open, I've been in the business a number of years, 4 years with Compass, and I've yet to really get organized. I'm your old school realtor who's a chaser, and I'm trying to make that change. So I'm looking for help and guidance.
Yep. So
So
here's the thing. Pick one part and start with that part, right? Like we'll give you a system that you can work into, but I think the part that people need to realize is you need to be more patient and kind to yourself with time. Like it's gonna take way more time than you anticipate this taking, and that's okay, right? But like you're
all
not
right.
gonna learn 186 steps. What state are you located in?
I'm located in Washington.
All
In
right, so there's
the
probably around 150 steps in your transaction, roughly, on the sell side. Like little things that you do. Like no one knows, right? It's like being a parent. Do you think our kids
Mhm.
really understand all the things we do all the time behind the scenes? And no, they don't, right? And it's not our job as parents to explain it to them, but like as our clients, if they don't understand what we're doing, it's our fault, right?
Okay.
Well, I can share something with you, Greg, that during the transaction, um, we basically follow the contract, the dates that are based on the contract. Like in X days, we have to provide with the seller's disclosures. You guys are not attorney state, you're like us, escrow, right? In
Escrow,
Washington.
yes.
Yeah, okay. So it's like in 3 to 5 days, we have to provide with seller's disclosures. So that's step number one. We got to have the seller's disclosures. Whatever the days on the contracts are to have the inspection done, we tackle those one. Whenever the appraisal is, whatever the appraisal is due, those ones. So what I do with every transaction, I create a calendar of the dates, the critical dates, and I invite, I put them on our calendar and on our client's calendar. For example, in 5 days from now, we have to have the seller's disclosures, due date, sent to client, due date for the earnest money to be deposited. So the client have all of those like a 5-6 days, and we follow them. We just go by them. The inspection due date 15th of September, for example, appraisal 15th of September due date, and they follow religiously. Everybody go by the calendar, and they all have it. I send them a physical calendar and also invite in their calendar, so they have it in their phone, on their computer, everywhere. And then we talk only about those dates. And it's not really, it's very easy.
Okay. Thank you. So I set up and get organized, take a look at the purchase and sale and move forward from there using that for my key dates.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you. Yeah,
Yep.
that's a start. Great.
Unfortunately, we conquer all those in the beginning because we have the pre-sales all done ahead of time. So we don't have a lot of those dates we need to follow by other than appraisal. So it's now then, it's more communication and staying in touch with them and feedback and all that. So once you get into contract, Chirag, then what's the suggestion of feedback after that? So you're in contract.
When you're in
Um,
contract, really the only thing is like in contract, right? There's an appraisal period, then you get to the
yep,
mortgage commitment, then there's no contingencies. And like
yep,
really what you're doing is starting to step up their move. You can't ask anyone to pack a box or do anything till the date of the, you know, mortgage commitment, right?
yeah.
But from
Mhm.
that date before that, they should hire movers, think about where they're going. There's a variety of other things. And like sitting down, like if I went into contract for my home now, right? We've
Mhm.
talked about this because we've considered moving, like, what would we do? Right. And like I
Yeah.
was teaching a session, so I reached out to I was talking to my partner and we started talking about this, right? We're like, I remember packing up a friend of mine's dorm room in college and like going out the night before and thinking it was going to be easy. And then like, I was like, holy Jesus, like this little like crap hole room and like all, it was a nightmare. Right. And so like when you pack in a house, there's so many different things. So we're like, all right, like we'd want to map this out. We have really great cleaning people that organize and do things here. We're like, we would hire them over the course of many days, like one day to take our kitchen and move our whole kitchen there and unpack it,
Mhm.
take our closets in each room and unpack it there. We're like, at the end, we would just eat out all the time and there'd be bare bones. And then the people that were moving the furniture would move the furniture, set it all up, and that's it. We'd pack a suitcase for like a week, like we were traveling, and just leave our accessories here. And like that's a step process, right?
Mhm.
But like there's
Mhm.
so many different things that go into this process that we need to factor in, right? So that's why that
Yep.
whole moving thing is. And we'll have within our system like ChatGPT super prompts that you can ask people questions and put this all together.
Got it.
All right, let me close all the rooms and bring everybody back here now.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Was this helpful? Like I encourage you all to connect
Yeah,
with each other and follow
absolutely.
through.
Where are you, Cindy, located? On the East Coast?
I am in San Francisco. I can't get it on my screen. I've tried. And where are you?
Yes.
Are you Hermosa Beach? Is that what
Uh-huh.
the HERM? Okay, so
Yeah.
you're LA. I'm San Francisco Bay Area.
Oh, that's why you have a pre-sale. Okay, okay. So you have
Yeah,
everything done. Uh-huh. Got it.
This
yeah.
teamwork, Chirag, it got everybody lit up. This is great.
Yep.
I saw your better half.
How we are supposed to put down where each person is from. When I just clicked the three dots, it didn't show up like, oh, rename. It just says view profile, chat, and pin.
You have to log into zoom.us and change your username in there.
But
So
I've
go
done
and
it just from here
Oh,
before.
yeah,
there is
you can
another.
change
See,
it. Yeah, but you'll change it in here, and then every time you come in here, you'll have to change it again. So just go
I
into
see. Okay.
ChatGPT and says, "How do I permanently change my name in Zoom so it shows up differently in every meeting?" And give me step-by-step directions, and you'll be good to go. All right. So who
Got
here
it.
had like a nice aha moment in terms of areas that they can improve in their business?
Yes. Yes.
I feel bad for the
Love
people that
this.
left because this is like the little nuances that really make a difference, right?
Yeah.
So I sat in a room with Cindy, Theodora, and Greg, and we were all chatting about this. And, like each one of them was in a completely different place, right? And one of them was like, I want to improve the whole transaction. I'm like, everything equals nothing. The idea of doing everything is overwhelming. The idea of doing a communication plan or like, how do I really just nail down my pitch based off the Med C and applaud recording? That is really specific. So the goal of doing anything new is activity over outcome. Focus on the time. That's why I'm saying just book a bunch of meetings with the people in your group and everyone just sit there and work 15 minutes in the end, book an hour. Each person does a share for 5 minutes and you're out the door. But the goal and the reason I say this is you want to do something new and at the end have a positive feeling that you accomplish something. And that's the only way to do it, right? I'm still trying to figure out why when I do something on ChatGPT, everybody says, and if we're not doing ChatGPT, like half the, like in this case, a third of the people left. Something I'll never ever understand. And I know ChatGPT is exciting. So, look, get into your groups, start taking action, right? Because look, like these are the different things that make a difference, right? You have to remember one thing. The difference between a AI algorithm and a human is only a few different things. One, that the computer thing works 24/7 and never needs to sleep, right? The second part is it does not have human intuition, right? It can't care, it can't have feelings, it can't talk to people, it can't sit there with people, it can't see people's physiology and tonality and body language, and it doesn't have the initiative to take the next step. You do, right? So no matter what, like, I don't know, if I had to choose between a hotel that had a bunch of robots and a person to talk with, I'm going to go to a person, right? Like, you get to have cool conversations with people. Like, we were talking about this weekend how great small businesses are, right? So why would you not want to create that same experience for a client? The challenge is, and I said this to the group I was in, is the industry never shared this with you, that this is how you need to organize your business. So therefore, it's like having kids, and I'm not calling you guys all kids. It's like not teaching your kids values at when you go to a restaurant, you open up your napkin, you put it on the table, right? You say please for everything, that you say thank you for everything. You shake people's hands, you look them in the eye. Those are all learned skills, and so is operating your business in this way. And like, if you look at what we're doing, right, it's Compass technology, world-class client experience, and AI all put together. This is the difference. You have the best of all the different worlds, right? So it's where technology meets the transaction, and we put those two together. And over time, the idea that you're going to learn this in 3 to 6 months and the whole thing to me is crazy, because there's 150 different steps, right? There's 180 days in 6 months. You think you're going to master how to do one thing one time a day and still do everything else? It's not realistic, right? That's why the tracks repeat. That's why we say get in accountability sessions. Each year, you should be getting a little better on one area, a little better on an area. And as the years go by, the momentum keeps building, right? The biggest mistake that I find people make is they think it because I've heard it before, I've mastered it. So I've tried, I've heard this 3 times. Great. So can you do this, 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 this? The answer is no, right? So, on that note, with love in my heart, I love you all. This week we have the interactive AI session. So come with your computers and be ready to work. And we will just keep on keeping on. So I will see you guys all soon. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.